Morning. I wanted to write something different on the headline. That's all I wanted to come out. I'm like, and I kind of did it as a joke, but not a joke at the same time. Morning. It's like, be grateful for what you've got. Now, fuck that. In a sense of like, I don't know. I didn't know what else to put as a title headline, but that's all that I could think about this morning. And it's a bit of a catch-22. It's a bit of a joke, but it's not a joke. Because it's like, when we're working to, create things in our life, it's like, yeah, be grateful for what you've got, definitely, like it's that, but it's also about focusing on your next goal and your next goal and your next goal. Because yes, when we focus on what we've got more. When we focus on what we have, created and grateful for what we've got, there's a definite feeling of gratitude there, right? But when we're consistently focusing on what we already have, our next goal always stays out of reach. And it's something that, people will be like, well, got to be grateful for what you got before you get the next thing. And yeah, that's true, but it's also keeping your next focus on your next goal and what's the next goal beyond that. And it's because the ego kind of won't let you get to that next goal, because if you get to the next goal, well, then the ego is going to die. So you kind of always stay at the same sort of level, right? But when you can be grateful, you're automatically grateful for what you've got, right? It's kind of, some people are like, well, if you focus on the next goal already, you're not being grateful for what you've got. And it's like, well, you are, because you're already grateful for what this goal is. And then you're focusing on the one after that as well. It's like, if you are in a state of vibrational feeling of abundance for this goal that's here, well, then that's going to bring that here. Yeah, you're already grateful for that. Does that make sense? So and then if you're focusing on the goal after that, it's kind of like these are already done, and the vibration and your gratitude for these goals are already there. So what is that doing? You're already shifting to the next level vibrationally, because we all know that we have to be feeling it vibrationally before we can bring it in, right? And it's not about a focusing on the goals and the next goals from a state of lack. It's not that, we're focusing from a different vibrational sense, right? It's that, state and feeling of abundance and gratitude for having that space there. Does that make sense? I don't know. Tell me if I'm making sense. And let me know if you have any questions about that. I'm going to wait for comments to come through, because I know what I'm trying to say, but I'm wondering if I'm explaining it properly. It's yeah, be grateful for what you've got, but what's your next goal? And, what are your goals for this year? So what are your goals for next year? And have you planned out your goals for the year after that? Because while, yes, we need to be focusing on what we've got and, the feelings that they are bringing to us, when we tap into the feelings of what our next goals bring us or have, and the space that we would be feeling from at that next goal, then we're shifting to the next level, we're shifting to the next level, we're shifting to the next level. I just had to come on and say that this morning. It's like, yes, focus on what you've got and be grateful for what you've got. But what's the next goal? What's the next goal? What's the next goal? We're continually evolving, and I was actually thinking that too, the constant state of evolution and growth is constant. That's the only thing that's constant, right? That's the only thing that is constant. Change is the only thing that's constant. If you over-focus on the goals you already have achieved, then the chances of your next goals will stagnate. Yeah, and that's it is, and like I was saying, it's that, you're already grateful for what you've got, you've done and achieved, and, it's an automatic gratefulness, I don't really know how to explain it, but it is that. Yeah, will increase. And that's the thing I was saying. It's like, you know, when you get to that next goal, you know, like when you're focusing on the next goal, but even the goal behind that, you're already, you know, and it's not about like, what do you have to do? It comes from a different space within of being, you know, like being and vibrating that gratitude for that goal. Because then that magnetically attracts that to you, yeah? Like that's where you're vibrating at. It's like, okay, next goal, vibrating at that, you know, like that's like that's your, what's the word? That's your work, yeah? Is focusing on the next goal and the next goal and the next goal vibrationally, and what you would be feeling had you already achieved that goal. So when we work with, you know, the gratitude process and, you know, like being grateful for what you've got, even, you know, like through journaling or whatever kind of mechanism you use, whatever tool you use, focusing on what you've got, yes, being grateful for what you've got, then looking at your goals and where you want to go, and then tapping into the feelings and the spaces of already having achieved that goal. And then beyond that, you know, and it's kind of like that you'll feel it within yourself of when you've kind of gone too far. Because when we're working on, you know, shifting levels, you know, whether it's vibrationally, financially, you know, in our entire life, you can feel when you go too far about your goal. It's kind of like, oh yeah, it's just, yeah, that's an idea. Or whereas when you tap in and break down all your goals, all your steps to get to that final goal, if that's your final goal, you can take the baby steps to, okay, cool, well, I feel comfortable at this level here. So let's focus on this level here. Whereas if you kind of jump straight up there, it's still a bit wishy-washy, right? It's like, oh yeah, that might happen. Like, you know, energetically when we're tapping into the feelings of it. But when you can break it all down in those steps, and then you kind of, you know, kind of go to that next level, and you kind of like, oh yeah, and it's like working, your work is getting the feelings and the vibrations and the sensations of being at this level. That's your next goal. And then once you start moving up, and you can feel it, and this is why it's a daily check-in. It's like, yeah, focusing on what you've got. Where are you in your what you've got to the next level? Because we all know that what we want to manifest needs to happen in our physical body and mind and the way we act and talk and be in the world before it will vibrationally come in, right? So yeah, there's different steps, but it's definitely around that here. Where are you here? Where are you? Can you move here? Where are you? And keep constantly pushing vibrationally to that next level goal to get to here. Yeah, being grateful for what you've got and checking in to that next level, grateful for there, vibrationally there, vibrationally there, vibrationally there. Yeah, that's what you're working on. It's kind of like, it's like that already happens. The physical magnetic vibration happens when you can really tap into the next goal, like here, yeah, vibrationally. It's not coming from lack and like, oh yeah, I need to get that because then I will be somebody and then I will feel good enough. The work and the inner work comes from feeling the vibration of the gratitude of what that feels like to have that. So if we stay, yes, we need to stay focused on the gratitude and what we've got. And that gratitude pushes us, okay, so your next goal, and tapping into the gratitude at that level and working on that being your all body feeling, because that is the resonance that makes that happen, yeah? I know there's a few people that just joined me since I've been talking, so a bit tricky to go back. You might need to watch the start of this live stream, but I'm wondering if you've got any questions about anything, or be grateful for what you've got, but work to where the next step is, the next step. Here, within, body sense, body vibration, the next level and the next level and the next level, step. That's the gratitude. It's not that we don't have gratitude. Be grateful for what we got now, fuck that. I just kind of said that. So you jump on the live stream and watch it. And there's another yacht just sailing past up at Point Cartwright. It's so beautiful here. I'm going to do my work and go surfing. Gorgeous, gorgeous day. So my gift to you today, if you take anything from this live stream, it's about noticing, you know, what you're wanting to manifest and have in your life, kind of feeling into how real you feel that that's possible. And if it kind of feels like it's up here and you're like, oh yeah, it might happen one day, I want you to like literally write down on paper the kind of steps or where you are, you know, like the kind of next month, the next 3 months, the next 6 months, the next 12 months, and kind of write down, you know, how it takes to get to that. And then your work is to shift vibrationally to the next step, the next step, the next step. Where's your gratitude? Imagine, you know, and sense into what that would feel like for that to be a reality, and the gratitude that you would feel at that level. What would you be doing? What would you be acting like? How would you be talking? Who would you be hanging around? You know, what sort of reality would you be living if you were there vibrationally, yeah? The next level. The next level. And the more that you can, you know, like that's kind of like your daily work. It's like, well, vibrationally I would be here. My life would look like this. I would be doing this on a daily basis. And if you're not doing those things now, you need to ask yourself, why not? Because those actions, if you're not taking those actions at this level, like that you want to be at this level, you're not taking those actions now, you need to be asking yourself why. Because how are you going to get there if you're not taking those actions now? Yeah? So I'd love to know how you go with that little process. I felt called to jump on and share that for some reason. So if you're watching the replay and you got any questions about that, please personal message me, or you can comment on this live stream and let me know how you go with it. So if you do this process and kind of, you know, you'll be able to sense too, as you keep doing this every day, you'll be able to sense into, you know, what, like you'll be able to sense into where your blocks are. Hey. So when you're moving to that next level and you can sense and you're like, okay, well, why aren't I doing those things now? And you're like, oh, because of this. It's like, well, no, erase. How can I do this now? How can I do this now? And they're your little, they're like the little diamonds. I just got the image of like the gnome or whatever, like digging in the, you know, the cave or whatever, and like hits the diamond. It's like, oh, it's almost like a block, but that's your gift, that's your diamond, because you're going to shift that out and keep moving to the next level, yeah? So there's only today and tomorrow left for the half price Psychic Tarot reading. So if you haven't already got that, I will post a link in the comments for that, because there's only 2 days left to get at that half price. That is the big readings that I do, so you can book yours now before it is too late. And Calling in Your Soulmate doors are open. We start that on the 21st of September. So it is the art of manifesting at its core. We're working with the sacral chakra and gestating your life purpose, obviously attracting and calling in your soulmate at the same time. But it is, you know, it's sacred manifestation. What we learn and what I teach in Calling in Your Soulmate is exactly what you need to manifest anything you want in your life. You can take these principles and apply them to absolutely everything, because it is sacred manifestation. It is an art. It is something, you know, that does come very naturally when you are able to shift the patterns that stop you from recreating things, and the sabotage that puts you, you know, in your path and come up against a block. It's like working with the energetics and how to shift those, just like the gnome analogy I just gave there. Know when you hit those diamonds, but they don't seem like diamonds at the time, but they are. So I'll post a link in the comments for that as well. If you have any questions, like I said, you've been watching the live stream, please comment below and I shall come back to them, I promise. Lots of love to you. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Keep it real. Namaste.